All right, guys. All right. You know what we're going to talk about today. You've seen the title. You know what we're gonna have some fun, right? Because there seems to be a growing trend amongst these Democrat socialists as exposing themselves as a bunch of hypocrites. So the first one that came out and exposed herself, and not in the way that we all hoped, was the OK Boomer TikTok influencer, who has been called a hypocrite after showing off a $2 million flat. Now, the reason why, I think her name was Niku, real name's Nicole. The reason why she was called a hypocrite was because she's wore things and t-shirts and stuff and before that were like tax the rich. And she's also endorsed Bernie Sanders and all these Democrat socialists. You know, these people that want to tax the rich, but she's spending $2 million on a new house. I thought you wanted to tax the rich. Does that mean you want to tax yourself? Probably not, right? So she came kind of out as a hypocrite because here they are supposedly preaching about socialism, which, you know, is about helping everybody and everybody being equal, and she's living in a $2 million house. And then we had Hassan Piker, who also decided to say, hold my beer, I can do better. He spent, I think it was $2.7 million on a house. Now, at the end of the day, he also was criticised as being a hypocrite because he's yet another Democrat socialist, although I think he's actually, I meant to be a communist, actually. Everybody called him Democrat socialist, but I thought he called himself a communist. But at the end of the day, he was also branded as a hypocrite for the same reason. Here he is preaching about how he wants socialism and everybody to be equal and everything like that. Goes on about equality and also spends $2.7 million, I think it was, on his new house. So at the end of the day, the internet had a lot of fun claiming that he was a hypocrite for that, which, to be honest, they both are. And now we have the latest version of this, which is AOC. It's been a year. We've got all three of them. AOC has come out at the Met Gala. Now, in case you guys don't know, this is where all the bigwigs, all the elite, rub shoulders, right? All your politicians and elites all turn up. Billionaires turn up to this thing, right? This is not an event that you and I would probably ever go to. Tickets to this event are anywhere from $30,000 to $35,000, apparently, and I wouldn't even go to this sort of thing, right? No, I'm okay, well off, sort of. But at the end of the day, AOC, well, she went to this event. Now, people are now claiming, or maybe the ticket was given to her. Maybe she didn't spend the $35,000 to go to this event. Okay, well, in that case, it's a bribe. If you're giving a politician a $35,000 ticket to an event, that would be considered a bribe, in my opinion. But she just didn't go to this event on her own. She actually went with a boyfriend. So it's not like it was just one person. So did they both get the free ticket, or did they have to pay for one? Or did they pay for both? We're not quite sure. And of course, she's refusing to answer these sort of questions. But regardless, here is a AOC, a politician, attending an event which is $35,000 per ticket, mind you, wearing a dress that says, tax the rich. Well done, AOC. Well done. You are hypocrite number 3 in my bingo line. One more and I have bingo. So at the end of the day, in the background you see help in all the masks while they were straight out smiling with this one on their butts. It's quite on the imagine. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, the kids in there should show up to school without a mask today and say, oh, I'm sorry, I thought this was the Met Gala. Yeah, so here's the interesting thing, right? All the help, all the guys in the background, all the cameraman and the average folk, where they're all having to wear masks. But the celebs, Well, they're vaccinated, so they don't have to wear a mask, right? But what about the help here in the background? Any of those vaccinated? How many of those were vaccinated and still had to wear a mask? So, there's a lot of hypocrisy here on display. But at the end of the day, the biggest part about it is the dress with tax the rich. Because God knows how much dress costs for her to buy. And she's turned up to this with tax the rich. Now, the interesting thing is that she came out and she's tried to justify it. She's tried to justify it, and let's just bring up AOC's tweet, because it's actually really, really interesting. Right, so yeah. So, the medium is the message, apparently, right? So, yeah, whatever. But her response was, the medium is the message. Proud to work with Aurora James as a sustainable, focused black woman immigrant designer who went from starting her dream at a flea market in Brooklyn to winning the Against All Odds, and then worked together to kick open the doors at the Met Gala. Darling, you didn't kick any doors. They were open for you. You just walked through them. Now, at the end of the day, the interesting thing is that this person that she's talking about here isn't actually an immigrant. Well, apparently she's an immigrant from Canada. So, when she says, black woman immigrant designer, an immigrant from Canada. Technically, it's an immigrant, I suppose, but it'd be like classing me as an immigrant if I moved to the US. I wouldn't consider myself an immigrant, per se. I suppose I would, but, an immigrant to me, when you say a black woman immigrant, and you see that photo, you're tending to think something from maybe Syria, or Iraq, or Iran, or, some country where they want to kill people still. But at the end of the day, no. Apparently, according to what I've found, and people are saying, is that it's actually she's from Canada. So that's interesting in itself, right? But, hey, we don't know how much the dress cost. We don't know how much AOC paid for the dress. But she wore it to the Met Gala, once again, where tickets cost $35,000. Yet again, just to remind you. Wearing a tax the rich dress. Right. Okay, interesting. Now, at the end of the day, obviously, everybody else turned up. There were some people that made other political statements, and other people holding swords, apparently. Pretty cool. But at the end of the day, yeah, it was... it's quite interesting, because they don't seem to be wearing masks. Where's the masks on that's a mask? Yeah. That one's wearing it. Apparently, someone called Grimes was the only one wearing a mask, apparently. But yeah, no one else seemed to be wearing one. Interesting enough. And obviously, Hypocrite was trending on Twitter for a while. Twitter has since removed it from their trending list because, it's not like they curate them or anything like that, of course. But raging for the machine, AOC's tax the rich dress isn't a scandal. It's business as usual for revolutionaries. Or revolution. And at the end of the day, they have a good point here. It's not... These are what you call champagne socialists, right? At the end of the day, she doesn't actually believe what she's saying, right? Most of her donors were most likely at this party. And at the end of the day, that's why she went. She didn't go to this to make some political statement. God, if you believe that, I've got a bridge to sell you. She's gone to this event because at the end of the day, Her wealthy contributors and donors are there. She's rubbing shoulders with the rich and powerful because at the end of the day, she wants to make connections so that she can bring in her little laws that she would benefit from, not necessarily you. Anybody that voted for AOC and actually thinks this girl wants to tax the rich, ask yourself, how much does AOC get paid a year? And then let me know exactly how much you think she wants to pay in tax. These tweets expose the hypocrisy of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. It's my job to serve. Yeah, interesting. I'm the boss. Yeah. Cheap seats. Yeah, so, she's been proved a hypocrite. AOC took paychecks during the shutdown, while everybody else, major government workers were not getting paid. She kept taking her paycheck, of course, mind you. Yeah, all of them in Congress and the Senate did, but still. So obviously, at the end of the day, social media had a lot of fun with this. Obviously, it's to do as I say, not as I do. Is the example of what to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez Smollett trends on Twitter after AOC gets called out for a massive hoax. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez Summit, whatever. Trending on Twitter after the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was caught up in a hoax where she claimed she had a near-death experience. So this is a little bit old, but just going back to show the character of the person. She claims that she was in the area and was fearful of her life, but she wasn't. So it's not the first time she's bent the truth or jumped on things. And at the end of the day, it's not going to be the last either. Now, obviously, the mainstream media is obviously going through and doing their best to cover for her. Stop calling AOC a hypocrite. She's a politician and a good one. Yeah, this is obviously Newsweek's attempt to cover her ass, which is quite good ass, actually, by the way. Yeah, look, the worst thing you can say about AOC is that, she might be dumb as bricks, but she has a good body on her. AOC's tax the rich dress ultimate fashion statement or display of hypocrisy. I'll take the second one, please. So, since taking off in 2018, Alexandria has been a progressive wing of the Democrat Party. Her supporters see her as a champion for the working class, while spending $35,000 on a ticket, mind you. And her underprivileged, well, her opponents say she's out of touch with the much of the country's values, hence the $35,000 Met Gala ticket. Look, even if she got one for herself and was given one for herself, presumably she's had to buy the ticket for her boyfriend, because he was also there as well. And it's interesting how the photos don't show him and her together. So, there's that. More media coverage. AOC knows exactly what she's doing. Yeah, because this is the media trying to cover for her. But anyway. AOC's Met Gala 21 tax the rich dress controversy explained. So now we're obviously going to get the mainstream media or whatnot trying to explain it for us. It's simple. There's no real explanation is needed. It's simple as this. At the end of the day, she turned up to an event that costs more for a ticket than some people make in a year, while wearing tax the rich dress. That's it. That's all it is. It's just the hypocrisy of it. Don't even get me started on them not wearing masks, but just the tax the rich dress angle itself. It's a case of she went to this event that costs more for a ticket than some people make in a year. That in itself is pretty bad. That in itself, I would be friggin' embarrassed if it was me. I'd be really embarrassed. But that in itself is not as bad as it is. It's also the fact that none of them are wearing masks while lecturing people on supposedly wearing masks. So not only do we have them not abiding to their own political views, in both cases, to be honest, but at the end of the day, it's literally, this Met Gala has literally shown them all to be hypocrites. It really, really has. And at the end of the day, I'm not surprised. I'm really not. Anybody that votes for her, are you surprised by this? None of them. Look, this is the only one wearing a mask, and it's metal, so it probably wouldn't have fitted that well anyway. But she's the only one wearing a mask. No one else is wearing a mask. Everybody's mentioning it. Left the celebrities maskless and mingling. Love the Met Gala, but why on earth can these show their faces while kindergartens are not allowed? Lots of people committing snidey on the lack of masks and social distancing. This is an outdoor event. Okay, can I go to the beach and not wear a mask? Apparently not in Australia. Disappointing at Glenn Greenwald to tick up for, actually. This is an opposite out. Oh, sorry, no, he's saying it's an indoor event. Okay, so I'll take it back. I thought Glenn I thought he might have been smart ass there for a sec. Lots of people commenting slightly on the lack of masks and social distancing in this opulent indoor event in the middle of a pandemic, but as was true for Obama's indoor bash, COVID wasn't invited to the Met Gala, and there are sophisticated people who aren't in danger. Glenn Greenwald actually being quite a smart ass there, actually. So, you know what's super cool about the Met Gala this year? Everyone in attendance was vaccinated. And when they were inside not eating, they had to wear a mask. Really? That looks like it might be... maybe that's not inside, maybe. That looks like it's inside, maybe. I don't know. Don't see masks. In that case, does that mean you'd have to wear a mask outdoors in the US? Hey, your rules. Obviously, this person here is just literally going through and just covering for him. It's this Gillette, this Juliet, whatever. This is just elites doing damage control. Because let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on AOC turning up to this event not wearing a mask? What are your thoughts about her turning up wearing Tax the Rich dress? To be honest, I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked. And to be honest, I kind of expected it. She's a hypocrite. Are we really that surprised by now? Let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Obviously, guys, if this video has been helpful, please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, guys, we'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great night and enjoy.